Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to ChäoS. I want to apologize real quick for me not being able to go and actually put this up last week like I was originally supposed to. I was feeling under the weather, and so I did not do so. But yeah, so let's go ahead and actually hop into the game. Just wanted to check the config a bit, and this is the save that is this for the save that we want? Yeah, that's the save that I want. Okie dokie. Okay, let's see. I think I might have read this, but just on the off chance that I didn't, I'll just go ahead and read it again. I was sitting in front of my PC monitor. My whole body was drenched in sweat, and it had soaked through to my clothes. What had happened just now? Had I imagined it? I was about to lose control of my nausea. To suppress it, I took some Coke out of the fridge and poured it into my mouth. Or poured it in my mouth, whatever. It was a very real seeming delusion, if I do say so myself, but way too guru. I still couldn't catch my breath. Would a delusion leave me without enough air? Like hell it would. Something gripping my right hand felt out of place. I was gripping my fist so tightly that my fingers turned white. I had been utterly unaware I was doing it. My heart pounding, I relaxed my muscles and slowly opened my head. A single stake rested on the palm of my hand. Frightened, I flung it at the wall. Of course. The stake from before. I had definitely picked up one of the stakes strewn across the street. But why was it here? Hadn't that been a hallucination? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. That's impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible. Okay, let's see. Fate Stay Night, Da Capo. Let's see. I honestly don't know from any of these. Fate Stay Night again. Honestly, most of these I haven't actually watched, even though I know them. It's Fate Stay Night as well. Let's see, any others that I may notice. That's also from Da Capo, but that's the same character here. Okay, whatever. I don't actually know which one. There's like 3 different seasons of Da Capo. I don't know which one these are from. I think it might be the first, but I don't recall. Hugging my head, I stumbled aimlessly around my room. For starters, I had to find out whether the ghastly scene I had witnessed just a little while ago had been reality or the product of my delusions. Or so I thought, but I stepped on a CD case that had fallen on the floor and my foot slipped. I reached out, seeking something to grab onto so as to keep myself from falling. What I grasped was the edge of the shelf where my wives were lined up. Okay. Shit, I thought, but it was already too late. Unable to support myself, I collapsed on the floor. Above me, my prettily arranged figures came pouring down in huge numbers. Ugh, god damn it. This was as bad as it got. This was as bad as it got. I think would have been a better way of phrasing that, but whatever. Everything was at its absolute worst. I stood up, groaning, and checked to see whether my figures were safe. It had broken neatly in half, despite the fact that I had bought this in an online auction at a premium price. I tried to sort of piece the sword back together, but even if I could line up the broken parts, it would be impossible to completely restore it. With this, it had lost all its value. Pissed off, I kicked at my chair. My eyes welled with tears. Why did this kind of thing have to happen to me? When did I ever do anything wrong? Popping heartbrokenly in place, I Spent some time looking at my swordless Ignis and getting depressed. When the storm of rage and confusion finished passing through me, her face and the tableau, I guess, of the objet d'art finally rose up at the back of my brain. The fact that I still had the stake meant it had been reality, not my imagination. I didn't want to, but I had no choice but to acknowledge it. Tomorrow, no doubt, the mass media would be in an uproar. I definitely didn't want to get wrapped up in something like this. Make no mistake, I'd be ruined if I got involved with someone like her. No, rather with that demon. I was already well on the way to self-destruction to begin with. Because I'd brought home a deadly weapon, a precious piece of evidence, it wouldn't be odd for people to suspect me of being the perpetrator. On top of it all, that demon had seen my face. I couldn't run away from this whole affair. Next time, the demon would come after me. For now, I should put my thoughts in order for my own sake. For the sake of surviving, I had to get organized. We should get a montage going here for organization. Just feel like that would work. Just for the hell of it.
間違いない。
No question about it. Okay, so Shogun equals mystery girl. Mystery girl equals murderer demon.
あの写真は事件の予告メッセージみたいなものだったんだ。
I actually forgot to set an alarm for this. Oh well. I'll just stop the recording when I feel like it. If not, there was no way she would duplicate the killing method so faithfully. I think I actually might have screwed that up. Let me see. Okay. This is actually not the best screen for this, to be honest, but oh well. That girl must have begun by using composite photos to meticulously simulate the scene of the crime and then onto the crime itself, although she'd probably call it her work of art. That's what it means to be a psycho. She must have tried to carry something out to perfection.
頭がおかしいよ。でもどうしてそれを僕に。そもそもあの女はナイトハルトが僕だってどうやって知った。僕の名前をどうやって知った。
Huh. What should I do? That demon girl would come to kill me soon, I knew it. If she knew my name and email, there was a strong chance that she'd also find out my address. Seated in my chair, I hugged my knees and buried my face in them. The abnormal killing method, I had seen it yesterday when I thought that I might be killed the same way. I couldn't keep my cool in the slightest.
死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない。
Wow, actually surprised somebody managed to pull that off as well they did. Or as well as they did.
大丈夫。
Sarah Tan laying in front of my monitor lay in front of my monitor and smiled at me. Okay, I don't know why I struggled to say that.
タッキー、あなたはこの部屋に引きこもってればいいんだよ。したらあの悪魔だって手出しできないっしょ。
Oh, BS, you're living in a container. I'm sure it's considering that the containers are meant to be opened from the outside, it'd be fairly easy for somebody to actually open it, I would imagine. But, you know, we'll just ignore that little fact about it being fairly easy to break into your so-called home.
そのうちに警察がうまく捕まえてくれるって。
I don't know, hasn't this been something that's been going on for quite a while? I'd imagine that they're probably not going to catch her anytime soon.
それまでは誰も信じちゃダメ。誰の言葉にも耳を傾けちゃダメ。
Obviously, that should also apply to you as well, should it not?
悪魔ってさ、人の心の隙間をついてくるのが好きなんだよね。油断すんのはノー。
Of course, being caught off guard is a no. It's like that for pretty much everything. If you're caught off guard, you're screwed.
できるっしょ、タッキー。
And yes, this guy is very much delusional. You should all have figured that out, especially if you knew anything about the story for this game.
でもセーラ、
Back my mouse.
逃げるが勝ちってよく言うし。
Oh, okay. That's an interesting thing to say.
3次元のことなんてきれいさっぱり忘れちゃえばいいさ。あなたには一切関係ないことだって思えば気が楽っしょ。関係ないこと考えたって無駄無駄さ。
Right.
いいこと教えてあげる。引きこもりって最強なんよ。だって誰にも会わないっしょ。つまり誰にも攻撃されない。これぞ最強の自己防衛方法なわけさ。
What a very interesting thing to say. Really? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna bother trying to argue that point.
だからタッキーは引きこもりになるべきなんさ。簡単っしょ。
Right, okay. See how long that lasts.
そうかもしれない。
Well said, as expected from a wife of mine. Facing forward, I gently picked Sarah up by her slender waist. No matter how close I brought her to my face, she kept smiling without making a single expression of disgust.
ありがとうセイラ。おかげで勇気が出てきた。そうだよ。3次元なんてクソくらいだ。あの悪魔だって僕みたいなキモオタのことなんて気にも留めてないさ。
No, that's not technically speaking true. It is always possible, for all you know, that so-called demon could be targeting people like you. In which case, they actually do care a whit about you.
僕は安全だ。安心して毎日演奏したり好きなアニメを見てれば何の問題もないんだ。
でもさっき言ったみたく油断は禁物だぞ。
うん、わかってるよ。
I won't trust in anyone. I won't listen to anyone. I'll be wary of everything about the third dimension. Do all that, and things would turn okay. Would turn out okay.
セイラにそこまで心配してもらえて僕は幸せだな。
Again, like I said, this guy is very much delusional. You gotta remember that.
さてと、それじゃ気分直しに演スロット。
杭を打て杭を打て。
You know, I was planning to cut it here so that I could check to see how long this recording's been going on and take that into account to actually start my timer, but I'm not gonna do that now because of the singing here. I wanna know how this turns out. A clear voice resounded late at night in Miyashita Park. A pedestrian bridge running across the Meiji Highway, cars passed incessantly beneath it. Leaning against the bridge's railing and showing no sign of being disturbed by the noise of the traffic, the girl they called FES was singing. Is it FES supposed to be a name or an acronym? It seems like it should be an acronym since it's all capitalized. But that would be kind of odd, wouldn't it? Oh well, we're just going to assume it's an acronym for the time being, because I don't actually recall.
闇夜を切り裂き月光を浴びて。
There wasn't a single spectator. If she sang in the streets, over 100 people would stop, wanting to hear more of her voice. But now, FES was deliberately, peacefully letting her existence melt away into the curtain of night.
幾千もの鉄槌は何の痛みとなりて
She was content to simply stand quietly here in this place. By doing so, she might become one with the darkness and be released, if only for a second, from the tainted air of this city called Shibuya. That was the feeling FES had.
やがて叫びは宙に舞い夜空は赤く
FES glanced up at the night sky. The clouds that previously covered it in its entirety were clearing up little by little, and a trace of moonlight shone through them. But the star's hesitant winking was erased by Shiba's blazing city lights.
十字の杭は力となりやがて
FES closed her mouth and slowly raised her hand toward the sky.
つくその目誰の目
Okay, now I shall cut this here and try to figure out exactly how long this has been going on for. So give me one moment. Okay, so it's been going on for about 15 minutes. Well, a little over 15 minutes, almost 16. So I'm going to go and actually cut it here, because I want to try to have these relatively short. Of course, obviously, if you guys want longer, you can let me know, and I'll try to increase it. But I don't want to go with too long of episodes, because it seems like people may not necessarily like a lot of long episodes. They might prefer shorter ones, so I'm going to... I might try to mix it up a little bit, but also I'd prefer if you guys could let me know if you prefer shorter episodes, about 15 minutes, or if you would prefer longer ones closer to 30, or if you'd prefer something more in the middle at about 20. But whatever, so like I said, I'm getting this off here. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.